going on, everyone? Jason Pacheco here with Matthew Reddy. Episode 14. At this thing for about 5 months now. 4 to 5 months.
Yeah, 4 to 5 months, I think, right?
Yeah. So, how do you think it's been going?
It's going pretty good. I mean,
we would like to, everyone, please take a second and just subscribe to the channel. Just hit subscribe. Help us out.
Yeah, share it with your friends, you know, if you like our content. If you don't, still want to share it, still want to subscribe.
I saw something online, or it was a reel or something, TikTok, and it was someone said, "Hey man, when are you gonna make it? When are you gonna be successful? When's your podcast gonna take off? Whatever." And the guy was like, "The moment you start sharing my stuff."
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
So again, anyone watching this, if you have been watching it or you're just watching for the first time, just subscribe and hop off if you want to, or continue to listen. But this week I wanted to start off. We had a couple different things happen this week, more on Matt's side. He had a pretty interesting final walkthrough closing a few days ago. How'd that happen? What happened there?
Yeah, so final walkthrough for a couple of clients. 3-family. Out in Coventry. So yeah, we show up. It's, the house is in really good shape. So, I honestly thought we were going to be fine. We start out in the garage. Everything's fine. We ended up making our way to the basement. And half the basement's flooded. So I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm just like, it's going to be one of those. So yeah, first, the sun pump's failing. There's water all over the basement. Couldn't tell if the water was even, because of the sun. I mean, obviously the sun pump, it's failing, had a big part in, why the basement's leaking. But yeah, we started down there, so we had that going on.
And that's scary for anyone to see, but especially a first-time home buyer. They're all stressed out as it is. It's their first time ever buying a house, and then there's water.
Yeah, no,
and then people expect them to just be like, just sign, you'll figure it out. Like, it's not a big deal, but it is to them.
Yeah,
it's a big deal.
It is a bit. Yeah, I mean, like we've already bought houses. I've gotten a little water in my basement now, and I'm like, whatever. I'll get the vac, and I'll call a guy. I don't know. It's not a big deal. Before you buy the house, though, it's a big, and you want to at least know where that's coming from too. But yeah, I mean, like I have it, in my house. I get a little water here and there. It's not a big deal, but. Yeah, when you're first time home buyer for sure. So then we finished in the basement, and we got that in the back of our heads. I think we had the first tenant on the first floor moving out. So she was actually packing up. So that was some good sign. Second floor was in good shape. Everything was good there. By the time we made our way to the third floor, the heat's not working. Just like, it's just,
Was it just really cold, or did you guys try and turn the heat on?
Yeah, I think it was, I guess, like in some of the 3-family, because we ended up having a plumber go later, but I think he mentioned the pilot. I think the pilot was just out, but when you're there and you don't know that. Again, we found out later, but when you're there and they got the water going and now the heat's not working. Do we need a new boiler? I mean, that's what's going through their heads. I already know. So. And honestly, kind of going through mine too. I mean, the heat isn't working on one of the floors. So yeah, it was kind of a mess. And my buyers were, they were like, what the hell? Like, we can't close. Like, something's got to give. So yeah, my first thought was, I think we talked, and an escrow holdback was the best idea. Now, naturally, the listing agent was just like, his idea of an escrow holdback, depending on some of these things, was like a couple $100, but flooding in the basement, a heating problem, a couple $100. I mean, it doesn't even get someone out there. So, this is as a real estate agent, this is a situation you can find yourself in, and you got to be able to kind of know, an escrow holdback is something that's we can do.
This happened to me maybe 3 episodes ago or so. I chatted about final walkthrough that didn't go well. So that happens, and it's stressful, especially if you're an agent. It's stressful.
Yeah. Would you say the best thing? I mean, escrow hold, if you're going through a final walkthrough, I mean, usually an escrow holdback.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really depends. There's so many different things that can happen.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. No. So yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So we, so there's some little bit of back and forth there. So we, I called the lawyer on the way and just told him look, we're gonna need a holdback on this, and he's like, all right, just get here, we'll figure it out. And the listing agent, he actually sent one of his assistants there too. So when we're at the house, I'm talking to him and not the listing agent, and he's not even answering his phone. As I'm driving to the closing or whatever. So yeah. Anyway, we get to the lawyer's office, and he's just now this isn't a lawyer we normally deal with, and we've probably talked about this before, but I think this is the biggest thing. Like this is why we do. If you have a realtor and he's recommending a lawyer, it's for a reason, or an inspector. It's because we can talk, like, if something goes wrong, we can talk about it and figure out how we're going to solve it. And, if we don't know someone, I think even a couple episodes ago, you were talking about a lawyer. Was he sitting on his phone in the parking lot?
It's just it's the power. When you hire a realtor, I think half the time you're hiring their network behind them.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I mean, just like your example, my example. Again, I've said it before. I'll say it again. Realtors do not get a kickback on referrals. Don't be like, oh, he's only referring me to this loan officer or closing attorney or inspector because he's going to get a gift card. No, that's not it. That doesn't happen. It's genuinely to get the deals done because we know they're in the business to keep clients happy and problem solve. Some don't problem solve. They just escalate the problem. That's just their personality. And yeah, it's important to just use your realtor's trusted partners. They have them for a reason.
Yeah, like if if you're choosing a realtor, you should trust who he's going to use, I would say, for his referral partners.
Right.
If you don't, you should use a different realtor. Would be my advice. I mean, because otherwise, it means you're not really trusting him or her. So yeah, we had, it was a big thing. We ended up getting to the lawyer's office, and I think he was representing both sides, and obviously we're not going to name names, but he just, he was talking to my client. Now, keep in mind, they're young, they're first time home buyers, my clients, and they're nervous, and they're basically listening to whatever he says, and I had to stop him in the middle and just tell him, like, are you representing my clients, or what? What's going on here? Because I felt like he wasn't doing all he could do to, like,
yep.
Yeah, it's just, and I even called, the attorney we normally use. Shout out to Erica. And she, she was giving me some insight as to, like, looking at the contract and just, telling me, like, is he right? Is he wrong? What could happen? And so that helped me kind of, not argue with him, but kind of tell him, like,
Yeah, and another thing to add there, I think it's just a client, a person. I think it's just, hearing the word attorney, you get a little intimidated.
Yeah, you do.
Clients
Definitely
don't want to speak up. So if an attorney, a lawyer says, well, there's nothing we can do, you have to sign, they're going to be like, I'm going to really listen to this guy. I'm intimidated by him. But that's why it's good to have realtors at closings and final walkthroughs, because this guy either doesn't know of a solution that you know of. Like you said, you had to stop him respectively and say, listen, let's slow down here. They're not going to sign this. There's water. Let's figure it out. And if you didn't stop him, or let's say you couldn't make it to the closing that day, your clients probably would have signed and would have been unhappy buying a house with water and felt stranded, stressed. And you being there, you actually got the water situation fixed, paid for by the sellers.
Yep.
And it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was even, like, kind of like, threatening their deposit, and, like, their deposit, it actually turns out their deposit was at risk based on some of the contract stuff. But, at the end of the day, the sellers don't want to just walk away with a, $5,000 deposit. They want to walk away with the proceeds, the big fat check or whatever from selling the house. So, they're not trying to walk away with $5,000. I mean, that's just not what they're trying to do. And then, so, yeah, it ended up all working out. Got a plumber out there, and, sellers are able to cut a check for, the amount of the job, and, the pilot was just out. So that was good. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's another thing. You get to the closing, and, things can happen. You got to kind of be able to think on your feet, and having a network, someone to call, and, figure it out. I mean, cause you like, they're looking at me. Like, there were a couple times where I'm like, even like, I was like, oh, I got to call, whether it's you, Erica, you got to have people in place, plumber,
Yeah, like
to
today,
figure it out.
another value add just to a realtor. Realtors watching, you want to build your networks out, and people hiring realtors, you want to hire a realtor that has a network behind them. Like today, I spend time networking and meeting people that can help my clients. So your for sale by owners out there don't have the only network they have is the people they know. Where my full time job is making my network and meeting people that may benefit my clients. Today, I met someone from a company that really just deals with cleanups. So if anyone has a big flood, has mold, someone passed away in a house, biohazard, anything like that, I have someone now.
Yeah.
It's just a huge value add.
Yeah, that's huge. We could have used that in
A few
on
different
Harvard
places.
Street. Yeah, I was gonna say a few different places, but yeah, that would have been nice to have. So
But
going forward, at least we have that.
now, yeah, so I have a deal now that it actually, again, I chatted about this about a month ago on the podcast. It's a client that really, I don't really get hung up on deals. I don't really lose sleep over things anymore about real estate transactions. But this one had me stressed. It's just this client, really, really just a unique client asking for things that I've never been asked for, making things, trying to negotiate in a way I've never negotiated, doing things the way it's not done in Rhode Island. But he wanted to
Yeah.
do it. And all that work and stress I had, now it's to a point where he's potentially going to just let the deal fall apart, collect his deposit back, and not buy.
Yeah,
And it's a
it's
matter,
tough.
yeah, it's tough, and it's a matter of he's trying to sell and buy at the same time. And what he did wrong is he placed an offer and got it accepted and didn't have his house up for sale yet.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you gotta
So if you want
okay.
to realtors watching this, it's just listen in. It's I personally think it's the best way to go about it and the correct way to go about it. And sellers out there too, this might help. If you want to buy a place, so you own a home and you're like, all right, it's time to downsize or upgrade or just move locations. But you need to buy a place and sell your place at the same time. It's as crazy it might sound, stressful or whatever, you have to actually list your house for sale first. Put the for sale sign in front. It'd be even more helpful if you got accepted an offer on your home and you haven't found the place yet. That's the way to go. Because here's why. You put your house up for sale and you accept an offer. So now you know you have a very good idea what you're going to get for your bottom number. You know how much you owe on your house. You know the offer you accepted. You do some math. You figure out, all right, here is the number I'm going to get on this house. Now, here's the money I can proceed forward with to buy my next house. It's not a guessing game. It's not I'm going to get an offer accepted. I'm going to go place an offer. And when I put my house up for sale, I think I'm going to get this offer on my home. So if I do get that offer on my home, it will be enough for me to pay off that mortgage and make this transfer work. So it's a big guessing game. And it's just a lot more, it makes a lot more sense to actually accept an offer on your home first. So you actually know the exact number, your bottom line. You take that bottom line number and then you go sit down, have a pre-approval consultation with the loan officer saying, here's how much money I'm about to get on my sale. I'd like to buy another house. So I'll have this much money to roll into my next sale for, what can I afford? And you're pre-approved, ready to go. Boom. What happened here is this couple got an offer accepted. Now they're like, all right, now they have to scramble and get their other house up. They get their personal house up for sale because the sellers just accepted an offer on their house accepted their offer. I know it's hard to follow, but now they're like, all right, you have to sell a house to buy my house. Well, you better go sell that house faster. I'm not going to give you much time.
Yeah, they don't want to wait around.
They don't want to wait
Yeah.
around for you to sell your house so you can buy my house. So it diminishes the offer. So you have to go stronger in your offer if you do it that way. And then you're scrambling around to slap your listing on the market. Maybe the pictures aren't as good as you wanted. Maybe the timing wasn't as good as it could have been. And then now these clients are stuck not being able to make the move because they price reduce so many times because they really need to sell because their sellers are waiting on the other side, but it's not selling. So now they're coming to a point where, like, if we price reduce again, we're not going to be able to afford that next house.
Yeah.
So then we can't afford the move. So that's where we're at right now.
Do you think that like it's a good idea to the number, like the the expected amount you're going to get, you list it, and then, there's going to be realtor fees, maybe the inspections, some money comes out, who knows? Like, is it good to like lowball that number? Because I think, I've only done a two-sided transaction once. I don't know if you think
To be
like,
conservative on.
yeah, to be
Yeah.
conservative. I mean,
I think it's good to always be conservative on
Yeah.
on investments, on anything. Yeah.
yeah, because I think, even like the one I did back in July or whatever. I think she's like, oh, I'm going to get this much, and I was like, oh, I don't know about that, because like, there's a gap. So I think, obviously talk with a loan officer too, but it's good to have, it's another reason it's good to have a real estate agent. She just went and sold that house on her own as a transaction I did back in the summer. It just, she wouldn't have had any money, because the conservative number I came up with was like, we had an extra, like a little bit of money on top of that, barely. So, just inspection, realtor fees, there's things that come up. So, or, your house doesn't sell for, what you put on the market for. So
Really, just to recap that, if you want to sell and buy, you put your house up for sale, you accept an offer, then you go out and actually shop for your next home while you already accept an offer on your home, and then you can place offers where, hey, I'm going to buy your house. My house is already pending under contract. No problem. That's not even an issue. Me selling my house I'm already halfway to the closing table. So accept my offer, get it accepted, and then you just proceed forward. It's just a lot smoother there. Another thing wanted to chat about today is my theory on, there's some people out there where I get just the type of person I am, and I know you're like that. And I think everyone should have some sort of that in them, and that being not continuing to try and better yourself as a person in the world. And if you ever feel comfortable, you should try and make yourself feel uncomfortable, if that makes sense.
yeah, for sure.
As in, like, either it could be anything. It could be, in your fitness life. It could be in your work life. It could be in anything. I just don't think it's a good idea to feel comfortable. As in, you get a job, cool job, at a coffee shop, and your girlfriend has a job at a waitressing, and you guys are paying your bills very comfortably, and you're enjoying yourself, and you go on vacations, and you do that for 5 years, and it's like, okay, what else can you do now? You seem real comfortable. You're not stressed about, you should continue to feel uncomfortable. All right, maybe you should try and pick up another job, do something a little risky, maybe do an investment that might make you feel uncomfortable, continuing or learn a different language, or do something where you continue to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, because that's the way you grow. That's the way you learn things about yourself.
Yeah.
You're like that too.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, even like when I started out, I was working a day job, and I was working a night job too, the liquor store. Thank God that's over. And I wanted to get into real estate, and
you didn't have to.
Yeah,
like, that's what I mean. You didn't have to.
Everything was fine.
Yeah,
everything was. I was saving. I already had the house. I had a little extra money every month. I was saving. Everything was fine, but it was like, am I just going to do this for 30 years and just stagnant? Like, I mean, even if I get promoted and move up with the day job and all that, like, I think I just, you want something a little more. I mean, hell, we're sitting here right now, podcast, there's always something more you can be doing to try to, like, better yourself, for sure.
Right, I was thinking of that today, because it's like I created a bridge. The way I was looking at it, I was hearing someone talk about it too. A lot of people try and create a bunch of different, not everyone, but a bunch of different bridges that aren't built right, and you got 5 different things going. That's just not good. But I feel like I have real estate established. It's going well. I have the systems in place. I almost feel like I could go away on vacation, come back, and still have things going.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable. My wife has a job. We're all at home. We're doing well. But why?
But even still, like, what?
But I'm at home now, and I'm thinking,
with extra time, like, even with the business you're doing,
I want to do something else.
Yeah,
I'm ready for that next obstacle. I'm ready to invest in something, do something, buy something, scare myself, put myself in a risky situation where I'm going to grow as a person. Hopefully, financially, the family will grow. Hopefully, I'll meet new people in this world. And just motivate others around me. Just do well on this earth. I don't want to be. I mean, some people might be okay with it, with just sitting back. But I personally don't think deep down inside they're okay with it.
Yeah,
They're just too scared. Or
Definitely,
no one
yeah.
wants to work at a coffee shop their whole life. It's something's holding them back, and they don't. Maybe the support system. I have a great support system. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, and I would always be supported no matter what happened. So I think that's big too.
Yeah.
But
think
go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this actually brought up a point. I was actually watching another podcast the other day, and what was it? They were saying something. It was like, you shouldn't like. It was actually about, it's funny. I don't even know if I don't play them, but video games. What are your thoughts on video games?
All right. I'll be very honest.
Yeah, be honest.
So video games I use as an avenue when I don't watch TV. Not because I'm
Okay.
I'm too good for TV. I just don't have interest in TV. I don't watch shows. I don't watch Netflix. I don't watch Hulu. I don't have interest in it. But I need an avenue where I can kind of escape from reality. Maybe if it's for a half hour, an hour.
Yeah.
I get like the gym. I try and get there, but the lifestyle right now is I have two twins at home, 7 months old. If I'm gonna go to the gym, it's like I have to leave the wife alone with them, and she just got home from work too, and she's tired. So it's like
You've been doing stuff at home too, anyway, right?
yeah,
I've been doing
light stuff at home,
Yeah.
but video games. So I use video games. I do play them.
Yeah.
I do. I'll admit it. I do play video games
the
still.
Xbox.
And I use it. I don't play video games at 2:00 on a Monday. I need to be working.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I'm not going to play all day, but I use video games when, the kids are down.
Yeah.
It's 8:00 at night. Everything around the house is clean. The dishes are done. Work's done. And it's like, now what? I'm not going to turn the TV on and watch TV. I don't like TV.
Yeah.
So I need to do something where I can take my mind off of work and real estate. Because again, if I really want to do real estate 24 hours a day, I can go online, watch videos, type blogs, message people. But I did that all day, and I need to kind of relax and enjoy myself. And I do find enjoyment playing video games. Well, I know that's probably going to contradict what you were going to say. So.
Yeah. Because I'll be honest. Well, the thing is too, is like you even said, I mean, you kind of hit it, the other point is like everything's clean. You did X, Y, Z, everything, I really think, I think video games are fine, but I really think like, that stuff's all done. I mean, there's a lot of,
I think you need to earn to play.
Yeah. You got to earn it. Like we're not, we're not 16 years old anymore. So you need to like, your
you have
hobbies.
to earn to play. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Like again, like today I've had about what to do today. I wrote on one of my notes. I had about 8 bullet points. I'm going to do all these things. When these things are done, my day's done. I've completed what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And those are all done. I didn't run to the video game, but I'm saying if I go home after this podcast and I need to just debrief for my day, I did everything I needed to do. It's 9:00 at night. TV's boring. I'm not going to sit and look at a black screen or a wall. I'm not going to listen to music and rock out. The kids are asleep.
Yeah.
What do I do? Go outside? No, I'm not going to go to a bar because I have kids in bed.
Yeah.
I need to do something.
That's even worse, actually. But yeah, no, I think, I think a lot of people, like, for example, if let's say you're making like $50,000 a year, right? You work 40 hours a week. Maybe you're just, you're renting an apartment, you're living on your own, you're doing okay. Maybe you're out of debt too, right? So you're doing all right. Like, I think outside of those hours, like, personally in that particular situation, like, I think, if you want to play a little video games, it's fine. But I think you should be doing like working another job, finding a way to, working on a skill that can, bring that income up, you know what I mean? That type of thing. I mean, if you're making 100,000, like you should be working towards something more than just like, $50,000 a year, living in an apartment, renting on your own, you're debt free. You're doing okay, but I think outside of those 40 hours should not be spent another, 20 hours playing video games. I think that's my point. I think you should always be trying to excel past that.
And I think you should always be working.
Have goals.
Yes, and you should always work to a place where you feel you have the leverage. So what I mean by that is if you're working for a company and you feel like you don't have leverage with the company, then you need to, or leverage with the company, then you need to try and get it. What I mean by that, again, my wife works as a teacher job. She needs to feel like she has leverage where she either my husband makes enough money, I don't even need this job, so if I get fired, I have leverage on you. I don't need you. If you need your job, and you need to find a way to make sure you don't need that job. And again,
Yes.
like kind of like real estate. I absolutely love real estate, but right now I want to put myself in a comfortable situation and continue to better myself. So let's say, for instance, real estate really wasn't what it wanted it to be 8 years from now. I have leverage toward real estate, but listen, I don't even need real estate because I have X, Y, and Z going for me here too. I don't need it.
Yeah.
You too, FM Global, you have leverage on them. We're getting to that point where it's like, if FM Global wants to give you a hard time, I'll leave you. I can do real estate. It's probably better off.
Yeah.
So continue to put yourself where, let's say you have this job you hate. It's 9 to 5. It's 9 to 5. You feel like you need it though to pay the bills. Well, try and make leverage toward that job. Maybe find another job that you're like, hey, listen, I'll leave you right now and go to your competition. I already have a job lined up there, so don't treat me like that.
I think multiple streams of income too is partly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Multiple streams of income. Yeah. Maybe just always don't have all your eggs in the same exact basket.
Yeah. Definitely.
And that was that point there.
Yeah, because I think you mentioned. Did you want to talk about the home inspection?
No, not right now.
Not right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's just the biggest thing. I just think having goals and bettering yourself. I mean, you just develop more as a human too. And I mean, it's just, I don't know, if you're just going to stay stagnant, like you're just going to work, for 30, 40 years for the man. And I don't know. I feel like everyone should try to do it.
And then you create freedom.
Yeah, you create freedom.
If you continue to try and better yourself, you're going to work for, let's say, even if it's simple as you have a job and you're working salary, and how could I put myself in a uncomfortable situation? Well, apply for a job that maybe you get an extra 2 days off a year. You're going to feel uncomfortable applying. You're going to feel uncomfortable having to tell your boss you're leaving. You're scared to make that move. You're stressed. But continue to try and climb the ladder where you can go on vacation when you want. It's not asking your boss to please let you have a day off. It's, hey boss, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. And you don't have to be 20 years old with that. It takes time to get there. But at least you're trying to get there. Don't stay at a coffee shop your whole life and just be satisfied. I won't get along with that kind of person.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think that's actually, you just, on the last part you just mentioned, like, those types of people, I don't get along with anymore. I just don't even, it sounds, I don't know, not right, but I can't get on the same page.
I could go out to a bar, have a good time with them, go to a Patriots game with them, have fun with them, but it's not but then if they started to complain to me, I wouldn't feel bad really, unless there's always that circumstance. Well, what about if so-and-so was like this and like this? And listen, I'm talking about the general person that's just working at a coffee shop because they just can't be bothered to try and be a better person and do better things.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to try and be better in this world. I mean,
you got to surround yourself. I mean, if you don't surround yourself with people that are trying to do better, you're not gonna. I mean, it's the reason, it's the reason we're trying to like buy investments and
we're not getting paid to do this.
Yeah. It's like we're doing like extra stuff to try to, further ourselves. So.
Well, if anyone else wants to hop on this podcast and put us in our place because we're getting a little too, if you think we're being a little too cocky, maybe, I hope that's not how we're coming off.
Yeah, I know.
We're just trying to motivate and have everyone around us continue to just try and be better, learn more, be smarter, do better for themselves, their family, be a better friend, husband, wife, whatever. But if you want to join the podcast, hop on, have a conversation with us. Ask us some questions. Feel free to reach out. Again, please subscribe. It helps us out a lot. It's episode 14. Next week's Thanksgiving. We won't be here. But we'll be back at it afterwards. Chat about Black Friday sales we made and all that. Spent all our money on Black Friday.
Kind of cheap, so maybe not. But got a couple of purchases in. But
all right. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good Thanksgiving.